Welcome to the Hormone Health Boss Show, where each week we will explore the tools, strategies, and education you need to confidently advocate for your health, reduce your symptoms, and navigate your journey from peri to postmenopause like a boss. I'm on a mission to ensure all women receive the great menopause care they deserve, because no one should feel dismissed, overwhelmed, or left in the dark about their health. This show is empowering you to thrive in midlife, because just surviving isn't good enough. You have a purpose, my friend, and this world needs you at your best. It's time to thrive like the boss you are. Let's get started. Hey there, girlfriend. Welcome to episode 15 of the Hormone Health Boss Show. I'm so glad that you are joining me today. We are going to dive in to the number 2 complaint that I hear of all the time from peri and postmenopausal women, and that is belly fat and weight gain that we just can't seem to get rid of no matter how hard we try in midlife. So if you have been struggling with that meno belly or difficulty losing weight, despite your best efforts in losing weight, maybe you've gone back to all of those old tricks that used to work, right? We're going to eat less and move more. We hit the gym. We cut out the calories. We cut out all the things that we know are not great for us. And we expect to see the same changes that we used to see when we were younger. But that doesn't happen anymore. And not only that, this weight gain is in different places than it used to. Maybe you haven't gained weight on the scale, but you can't fit into your clothes the way that you used to. All of these things are very common in midlife. And today we're going to talk about why, and then give you some strategies to help improve in this area, because that's what this show is all about. So let's get started. So let's debunk one of the most common myths around weight gain, weight loss, and weight loss resistance. Calories in and calories out is not your solution. You've probably, somewhere inside, you already know that because it's something that you have tried. That is what worked for us in our 20s and our 30s. We could eat a little less, we could move a little more, and our body composition would be fine. We would lose the weight and we would continue on with our life. But it's not that simple in midlife because there are multiple factors that are impacting our weight management. If it were as simple as eating less and moving more, I bet you would have this under control. Here's why. I know. I've worked with women for over 14 years in how to manage their weight. And one thing I know is that we as women know how to diet really well, right? The average woman spends about 17 years of her life on a diet. That's really sad. Your struggle with weight gain, especially in midlife, is probably not due to a lack of trying. It's not due to a lack of motivation. It's probably not due to you not being aware of what you should and shouldn't be eating. Nutrition is a huge piece of this puzzle, but as you've seen, probably already experienced in your life, just focusing on calories in, calories out isn't the solution. And in fact, in midlife, if that is our only focus, it's probably going to backfire. So today we want to take a look at some other factors that are contributing to the difficulty in weight loss. First of all, weight gain is not the problem. It is a symptom. So it is your body's warning sign that there is dysfunction on the inside. So anytime we experience a symptom, any symptom at all, it is your body telling you something. So I want you to be paying attention to that. Don't just look at weight gain as your problem. Look at it as a warning sign that we need to make changes, and probably different changes than we have done before, right? If you continue to do the same thing that you've always done and expect a different result, that's the definition of insanity. We can't keep riding that hamster wheel. We need to try something different. But first, it takes understanding what's going on. So there are a few things that are common for mostly all midlife women to experience, and it is due to the physiology. It's due to the biochemistry, what's happening on the inside of the body. So first, we're going to take a look at what's happening with estrogen and how that impacts our weight. Estrogen is required for over 400 processes in the body, and you've heard me tell you this before. It affects every single cell, organ, tissue, and system in your body. So as estrogen declines during the perimenopausal phase, and then it's gone in postmenopause, estrogen, that decline is going to impact our weight. So estrogen helps regulate our insulin sensitivity. Insulin is that hormone that helps us manage blood sugar. And if that is mismanaged, if we are not insulin sensitive, then our blood sugar rises. Maybe we become pre-diabetic. You may have seen that on your labs already. You may have gone to the doctor for years and they say everything's fine. And then suddenly out of the blue, it feels like now I have diabetes or pre-diabetes. Now I'm worried about my lipids or my cholesterol levels. That is all a result of our body becoming less insulin sensitive, more insulin resistant, and estrogen plays a key role in that. So that is one of the factors that's going to contribute to midlife weight gain. In addition to that, estrogen, the hormone estrogen, actually tells your fat where it should be stored. So as we lose the estrogen, there's less communication to that fat, and guess where it distributes? Instead of it kind of distributing everywhere, it's going to land right in your belly. So that's where menobelly comes from, and maybe your hips and thighs. So it really collects around that area, and that's an indicator of low estrogen. Number 2, we have to consider cortisol. We've talked about this in past episodes, but cortisol is your stress hormone, and it's really important. We don't want it too high, we don't want it too low, but what happens in midlife is for many women, it starts creeping up. And the higher that gets, and that's because of other hormones that are declining that help us regulate cortisol, they're gone. So our cortisol starts to become unchecked. We have a harder time balancing stress. The cortisol rises. And when that happens, our hormones are impacted, which further declines the hormone levels and makes it harder for us to lose weight, because cortisol in and of itself will lead to that further insulin issues and lead to that collection of fat around the belly. So cortisol in and of itself will also increase your blood sugar. So it kind of perpetuates this cycle that we're already experiencing. We're already experiencing blood sugar issues. We're already experiencing decreased insulin sensitivity. And now we have high cortisol that is going to come into play here and add to that problem. So activities that increase our cortisol or not managing our stress is going to add to this problem. So as you can see, this isn't just about the calories in, calories out. The third thing that we want to consider is our thyroid. It is common to experience a sluggish thyroid. Now, maybe you don't have full-blown thyroid disease or Hashimoto's going on, but as our hormones decline, they are closely related to our thyroid, right? All the hormones are connected in some way, shape, or form. And as our hormones decline, so is our thyroid. Thyroid's another hormone in the body, and all of them are controlled by the brain, and all of them are impacted by stress. So it is very common for midlife women. I haven't seen a woman yet who hasn't had some sluggishness or dysfunction to their thyroid. So that's going to play a piece in it as well, because your thyroid manages or helps manage your metabolism. It's really the foundation of it. And no amount of low-calorie dieting is going to help your metabolism if your thyroid is not working properly. In fact, again, this is going to backfire. The lower calorie we are, the more deficits we're going to see, particularly with the thyroid. So now that you understand a little bit of the biomechanics, the things that are going on underneath the surface that can be impacting your weight loss resistance, weight gain, let's talk about some common things that I see in midlife that women try to do to counteract the weight gain and the weight loss resistance that they're experiencing. Listen, it's very natural to return to old habits or to return to things that have worked before. And honestly, a lot of these things that I'm going to talk about today have worked before. And maybe you've gone back to them time and time again, and they've worked over and over, and now they don't work anymore. There's a reason why. So first, I see women who are doing extreme dieting, chronic dieting, low calorie, low fat, low everything. Just not going to get enough nutrients to the body. We're not going to nourish the body the way it needs to. And the body will adapt to the low calorie. Makes it very difficult to eat anything outside of a very strict low calorie diet if you've been doing this for a while. So cutting the calories will backfire. Number 2, chronic cardio. Cardio is, we grew up in the generation of eat less, move more, which meant SnackWells, all of those diet foods that we loved where we kind of wanted to have our cake and eat it too, or our cookies. We grew up on SnackWells, and we grew up on Jane Fonda and Richard Simmons. Am I right? So we are used to the low calorie and the extreme cardio. And again, that may have worked when we were young, but cardio activities will increase our cortisol level. So if our cortisol level is high, we are going to start accumulating fat. We're going to have a harder time losing weight. We're going to have mismanaged blood sugar, and it can lead to further disturbances. So pay attention to your cardio. If you're feeling exhausted the day after cardio, or no matter how much you're at the gym, you're just getting more and more tired, think about the activities that you're doing. Specifically, cardio type activities increase our cortisol level, or could increase our cortisol level, and that will lead to more fat storage. Number 3, I see women all the time skipping meals, particularly breakfast, right? We're going to just grab a coffee and throw some collagen in it. Collagen is not a full, complete protein, okay? So that doesn't count as breakfast, but that's what we do. We grab our coffee, we run out the door. Maybe we have something mid-morning, probably not. Our first meal isn't till lunch. We're already starving, and we're constantly playing catch up all day long. So skipping meals is going to backfire from a nutritional standpoint. It's going to increase our cortisol level. It's going to add stress to the body, and overall, not a great idea. Intermittent fasting for long fasts can also be included in this, right? We do want to have periods of time where we're not eating. So snacking all day long is not a good choice, but neither is really long fasts. For people or women that are not metabolically healthy, longer fasts, like 14, 15, 16 hours, can backfire. And it also can lead to other issues. So fasting can be good if you understand the tool and you use it well. But a general statement of doing long fasts can be very detrimental, or could cause more trouble and more weight gain ultimately. So we talked about a few things that may be backfiring in your current plan. Let's talk about what we can do about it, right? So we want to make sure, instead of focusing on calories or even carbohydrates, I want you to focus on eating 3 blood sugar balanced meals per day, okay? That's going to be moderate to high protein meals and lower carb meals that are focused more on high fiber content. That is what balances your blood sugar. It's going to leave you feeling fuller, less cravings, and ultimately is going to help you lose weight. I want you to make sure that you're getting enough calories in the day. You shouldn't be eating 1,200 calories. So we want to focus on nutrient-dense meals that keep us satisfied, full, and balance our blood sugar. That's going to be number 1. Number 2, instead of focusing on cardio, we're going to switch our strategy over to strength training. Strength training is going to protect muscle, build muscle. During midlife season, we lose our muscle pretty significantly. And postmenopausally, we rapidly lose muscle. So it's something that we need to protect because it's the basis of our metabolism. We burn more calories at rest when we have more muscle. And so it's going to help our body composition. It also is our glucose storage tank. And what I mean by that is the more muscle you have, the more insulin sensitive you will be. So building muscle is really a fantastic strategy in midlife that doesn't increase your cortisol And that protects the metabolism, the base and the foundation of it, and helps us be more insulin sensitive. So ultimately, the goal here is that we become metabolically flexible and we're able to eat meals that maybe they have a few higher carbohydrates in it, and our body is able to process them appropriately. That all comes back down to insulin sensitivity. And the two ways to get more insulin sensitive are to balance your blood sugar and increase your muscle on your body. Number 3, your third strategy to getting this weight gain issue under control and finally getting rid of it. You're not going to like this one. Most women overlook stress, right? We have been running at a very high rate for decades. We've been taking care of everybody. We have been saying yes to everyone. And suddenly we end up in midlife and we are the ones suffering with all of these issues and symptoms, one of them being weight gain. Well, if we do not learn how to manage our stress better, we are not going to reach our goals. We're not going to reach our health goals. I have seen women eat perfectly. Their diet is absolutely spot on. And they're at the gym doing 3 rounds of strength training a week. And they're doing literally all the things that I tell them to do, except managing their stress. And guess what? They do not lose weight. They're not going to improve their symptoms. We have to evaluate the stressors in our life. And when I talk about stress, it can be physical, mental, emotional, chemical, environmental. There are so many different ways that we are stressed out in our life, and it's really important to evaluate them. We need to create more margin in our life. We need to have more downtime. We need to increase our capacity. I listened to a podcast this week that was amazing about the difference or the discrepancy between our desire and our capacity. We show up to midlife and we still want to do so many things, but we don't have the capacity to do it. We don't have the reserve to be able to do it. And we're so used to doing all the things and saying yes to all the people that we don't have the energy to say yes to the things we want to do. So really think about evaluating your stressors. And this can be kind of a sticky area. You might need some help in evaluating it. It may not be as clear-cut as you think because it isn't just about being busy and overcommitted. That's a huge part of it. But it also could be toxic gut infections. It could be food sensitivities causing stress in your body. It could be elevated histamine. It could be gut dysbiosis or H. pylori infection. There could be so many things in addition to the regular stuff that are slowing down your metabolism and slowing down your ability to heal your body. So we want to take a look at that. We want to learn how to balance our stress a little bit better so that our body can do what we want it to do. All right, girlfriend, well, let's wrap up what we have learned today. First of all, stop feeling guilty. If you are struggling with weight gain, with weight loss resistance, there are many things that you can still do. Many things within your control, within your power. You just need to have more strategy. So we need to make that switch from thinking about the calories in, calories out, and really look at what the body needs. How can we support our body in midlife? That's through blood sugar balancing, that's through building more muscle, and that's through balancing our stress so that eventually all of our hormones can come into a better balance and really allow our body to do what we want it to do and to produce a healthy body composition, right? So if you feel stuck in this area, like you're trying all the things, you feel like you've got this all down and it's still a struggle for you, maybe it's time to go a little bit deeper. Maybe it's time to do some functional lab testing. I love to use the Dutch test. That's the dried urine test for complete hormones. We don't just look at hormones on that test. That's a huge piece of it. But we also look at how your body is processing those hormones. We are looking at the way your body is handling stress. We can look at your cortisol. So we can see if there are specific supplements that may be helpful to you. We can see if there are specific lifestyle strategies. When it comes to cortisol, it could be too high or too low. And it's important to know the difference because certain supplements that you add in are going to impact that high or low and are going to impact your energy, your metabolism, your weight, and your hormones. So I love using strategic lab testing to do that so we can come up with a specific program for my clients. I also like to look at just comprehensive lab testing. So often with many of the labs that we talk about, insulin, thyroid, clients will go to the doctor or their provider and ask for lab testing. Maybe they're experiencing symptoms of weight gain or fatigue, and the doctor will check the labs, but they're not checking all of the labs that need to be reviewed. So I am happy to take a look at your blood work and kind of give you pointers on what other labs may be helpful to get to the bottom of your issues, because I look at lab testing as clues. Just like your symptoms are clues, the lab tests are clues, and then we can take those two, put them together, and come up with a strategic plan to get you feeling better and feel more in control of your health, your hormones, and your life. So if you're interested in learning more about functional lab testing, or if you just want to have a chat with me, I would love to offer you a complimentary discovery call. So you can click the link in the show notes and schedule your call. Tell me a little bit about yourself, what your goals are, what you're looking for. And I promise we will chat about your health, your goals, and see if we can get you feeling better soon. All right, girlfriend, thank you so much for taking the time today to join me on the Hormone Health Boss Show. If you found this episode helpful, would you join me on my mission to empower more women with the education support that they need to take control and be the CEO of their health, because every woman deserves to be the boss of their hormones. We are building a strong community of informed and determined women. And always remember, you are not alone. I am here for you every step of the way. So stay motivated, stay inspired, and never forget, you've got this. I'll see you next week for another episode of the Hormone Health Boss Show.